A Midnight Romance Stories original. Intro. I thought he was breaking up with me. My boyfriend disappeared during our graduation party. Then I received a text. Meet me where we first kissed. Come alone. I thought he was about to break up with me. Instead, when I opened the door, everyone I loved was waiting inside. There were flowers. There was a ring. And there was one question that completely changed my life. But that wasn't the biggest surprise. Because after I said yes, my boyfriend whispered, "There's one more thing you don't know. Stay until chapter 10 to discover what he had secretly been planning for months." Welcome to Midnight Romance Stories. Tonight's story is My Boyfriend Married Me at Our Graduation Party. Chapter 1. 4 years, 1 graduation. We actually did it. My best friend Sophie screamed so loudly that everyone around us turned. I laughed and hugged her. Graduation day. 4 years of exams, deadlines, terrible cafeteria food, sleepless nights, and surviving professors who apparently believed students didn't need weekends. Finally over. But I wasn't looking at Sophie. I was searching the crowd for one person. Daniel. My boyfriend of 3 years. Then someone grabbed me from behind. Looking for somebody? I screamed. Daniel. He laughed as I hit his chest. You scared me. You're cute when you're angry. I am not. You are. He wrapped his arms around my waist. I looked at him in his graduation gown. You graduated. So did you. Barely. You got honors. Barely with honors. He kissed my forehead. Then Sophie shouted, "Can you two stop being disgustingly adorable for one photograph?" Daniel pulled me closer. No. Click. Sophie groaned. Great. Another picture of Daniel looking at Emma instead of the camera. I looked at him. You always do that. Do what? Look at me during pictures. Daniel shrugged. The camera isn't as pretty. I rolled my eyes. Cheesy. You love cheesy. Unfortunately, I did. But something felt strange. Daniel kept checking his phone. Every few minutes. Buzz. Smile. Hide it. Finally, I asked. Who keeps messaging you? Nobody. Daniel. He quickly kissed my cheek. Stop being suspicious. That made me more suspicious. Then another message appeared. I only saw 3 words before Daniel locked his phone. Everything is ready. Ready for what? Chapter 2, The Girl in the Red Dress. Our graduation party started at 7. Music. Food. Friends. Parents. Too many photographs. I wore a simple black dress. Daniel wore the dark blue shirt I bought him for our anniversary. He looked unfairly handsome. You're staring, he said. No. You absolutely are. I was checking whether my shirt looks good on you. Your shirt. I bought it. He leaned closer. Then technically you dressed me. Don't make that weird. Too late. I laughed and pushed him away. Then a woman in a red dress approached us. Beautiful. Confident. And very excited to see Daniel. Daniel. She hugged him. A very long hug. At least it felt long. Daniel smiled. Rachel. You came. Of course her name was Rachel. Every romantic problem apparently begins with someone named Rachel. She looked at me. You must be Emma. I forced a smile. And you are. Rachel. Daniel and I go way back. Wonderful. Daniel must have seen my face. He quickly put his arm around me. Rachel helped me with something. What something? Rachel and Daniel exchanged a look. Secret, she said. I stared at both of them. Daniel kissed my temple. Trust me. I wanted to. But for the next hour they kept disappearing to whisper. Then Sophie joined them. Then my mother. Even Daniel's parents. Apparently, everyone had joined a secret society except me. Finally, I grabbed Sophie. What is happening? Nothing. You're a terrible liar. I know. Is Daniel hiding something? She hesitated. That hesitation terrified me. Then she said, Emma, whatever happens tonight, just remember that Daniel loves you. My stomach dropped. That's exactly what someone says before something terrible happens. Chapter 3, Our First Kiss. I escaped outside. I needed air. The campus garden was quiet. 4 years ago Daniel and I met here. I was a freshman sitting alone after failing my first major exam. He sat beside me. You okay? No. Want advice? No. Want chocolate? I looked at him. Yes. That was Daniel. He never tried fixing everything. Sometimes he just sat beside me and offered chocolate. We became friends. Then best friends. Then something more. Our first kiss happened behind the old university theater during sophomore year. It wasn't romantic. I accidentally stepped on his shoe. He laughed. I told him to shut up. He said, "Make me." So I kissed him. Then immediately panicked. "I'm sorry." Daniel stared at me. "Why are you apologizing?" "I don't know." "Can you do it again?" I laughed. Then he kissed me. That one lasted longer. Much longer. 3 years later, remembering it still made me smile. Thinking about me? I turned. Daniel stood behind me. "You're very confident. You're smiling at the place where we first kissed. Maybe I'm remembering someone else." He walked closer. "Should I be jealous?" "Extremely." He wrapped his arms around my waist. I rested my hands against his chest. For a moment, everything felt normal. "Daniel." "Are we okay?" His smile faded. "Why would you ask that? You've been acting strange." He gently touched my cheek. "Emma, there is nowhere else I'd rather be." "Then what's happening?" He leaned down and kissed me. Soft, warm, familiar. When he pulled away, he whispered, "Trust me until midnight." "Why midnight?" He smiled. "Because after midnight, everything changes." Chapter 4. He disappeared. At 10:30, Daniel vanished. Literally. 1 minute he was beside me. The next gone. I texted him. "Emma, where are you?" No response. 5 minutes. 10, 20. Then I noticed Rachel was missing too. My imagination immediately became my worst enemy. "Daniel. Wait." Secret messages. Whispering. "Everything is ready." I found Sophie near the dessert table. "Where's Daniel?" "No idea." "Where's Rachel?" "No idea." "You're lying again." "I have a weak face." "Sophie." She grabbed 2 cupcakes. "Emergency cupcake?" "No." "I'll take yours." I walked away. At 11:15, Daniel still hadn't returned. My excitement turned into anger. Then worry. Then sadness. This was supposed to be our night. We had talked about graduation for years. What happened afterward? Jobs. Apartments. Our future. Daniel always said, one thing at a time. Maybe he didn't want the same future anymore. At 11:32 my phone buzzed. "Daniel." Finally. I opened the message. "Daniel. Meet me behind the old university theater at 11:50. Come alone." My stomach dropped. That was where we first kissed. "Why there?" I typed. "Emma. Are you breaking up with me?" 3 dots appeared. Then disappeared. No answer. Oh my God. Sophie appeared behind me. "What?" I showed her. Her eyes widened. Then she smiled. Why was she smiling? "This isn't funny." "Sorry." "You know something." He hugged me. "Go." "Sophie. Trust him." At 11:49 I stood outside the theater. The doors were closed. No Daniel. No music. Nothing. Then at exactly 11:50, the doors opened. Chapter 5. Will you marry me? The theater was dark. Daniel. Suddenly. Lights. Hundreds of tiny warm lights illuminated the room. Flowers lined the aisle. Photographs hung from strings. Our photographs. Freshman year. First date. First Christmas. Beach trips. Birthdays. Bad selfies. Graduation. Every year of our relationship was hanging around me. My hand covered my mouth. Then I saw everyone. Our friends. Our families. Sophie. Wait. All smiling. And at the end of the aisle stood Daniel. I started crying immediately. "Daniel." He walked toward me. "You thought I was breaking up with you, didn't you?" I cried and laughed simultaneously. "You didn't answer my text." Everyone laughed. "Sorry." "You're horrible." "I know." He took my hands. "Emma, for years ago I found a girl crying in a garden. I wasn't crying. You were absolutely crying." "Daniel." He smiled. "I gave her chocolate because I didn't know what else to do." Everyone laughed again. And somehow that girl became my best friend. My eyes filled with tears. Then my girlfriend. He reached into his pocket. My heart stopped. And now. Daniel dropped to one knee. Everyone gasped. Oh my God. He opened a small box. Inside was a ring. Emma Grace Carter. I was already crying. I don't know exactly where life takes us after graduation. His voice shook. But I know who I want beside me when it does. I covered my mouth. So before we leave this place where our story started. He looked up at me. Will you marry me? Yes. Everyone screamed. Daniel laughed. Let me finish. No. I pulled him up and kissed him. Everyone cheered. He wrapped his arms around me. When we finally separated, I whispered, yes. Obviously yes. He slipped the ring onto my finger. Then looked toward the clock. 11:58 p.m. Daniel smiled strangely. What? He leaned toward my ear. Remember when I said everything changes after midnight? Yes. He whispered. The proposal isn't the surprise. Chapter 6. The second surprise. I stared at him. What do you mean the proposal isn't the surprise? Daniel looked nervous. Actually nervous. That scared me more than the ring. Sophie appeared beside us carrying a garment bag. Come with me. What? Trust us. Everyone keeps saying that tonight. She dragged me backstage. Inside the dressing room, my mother was waiting. She was crying. Mom. He hugged me. Pie baby. Why is everyone crying? Sophie unzipped the garment bag. Inside was a white dress. Not a huge wedding gown. Something simple. Elegant. Beautiful. I stared. No. Sophie smiled. Yes. No way. My mother took my hand. Only if you want to. My heart pounded. Are you saying? Sophie nodded toward the door. Daniel planned a wedding. Tonight. Technically after midnight. I sat down. This man has lost his mind. Sophie laughed. He said you'd say that. My mother squeezed my hand. There's no pressure. He told us repeatedly that if you only wanted the proposal, the wedding would be cancelled immediately. That mattered. This wasn't a trap. It was a choice. I looked at the dress. Then my ring. Then remembered 3 years with Daniel. Our arguments. Our adventures. Our stupid jokes. The nights he stayed awake helping me study. The morning I held him when his grandfather died. The hundreds of ordinary moments that somehow became a life together. I started smiling. Sophie noticed. Oh no. What? You're going to do it. I stood. Help me put on the dress. Sophie screamed. We're having a wedding. I laughed. Quiet. He hugged me. Emma, you're getting married. And suddenly, graduation wasn't the biggest thing happening that day anymore. Chapter 7. The Midnight Bride. At 12:07 a.m., I stood behind the theater doors. My father beside me. My graduation party had somehow become my wedding. This is insane, I whispered. Dad smiled. Want to leave? I looked at him. Would you take me? Anywhere. I hugged him. Then shook my head. No. The music started. The doors opened. And there was Daniel. His mouth actually fell open when he saw me. I laughed. Someone whispered. Close your mouth, Daniel. Everyone laughed. Daniel wiped his eyes. Was he crying? That was it. I was crying again. Dad walked me down the aisle. When he gave my hand to Daniel, Daniel whispered. You look. If you say beautiful, I'm going to cry. Terrifying. I stared at him. He smiled. And beautiful. I laughed through my tears. The ceremony was small. Warm. Nothing fancy. Exactly us. When it was time for vows, Daniel pulled out 3 pages. I stared. 3 pages. I had thoughts. Everyone laughed. My vows were written on my phone because I obviously hadn't known I was getting married. I wasn't prepared for this. Daniel squeezed my hands. So I'll keep mine simple. I looked into his eyes. You were my best friend before you were my boyfriend. My voice shook. And somehow you made even the boring days feel important. Daniel's eyes filled with tears. I don't know what comes after tonight. I smiled. But I want to find out with you. He squeezed my hands. The officiant smiled. You may kiss your bride. Daniel whispered. Finally. He pulled me toward him. I laughed just before he kissed me. Everyone cheered. And at 12:24 a.m., only hours after graduating, I became Mrs. Daniel Hayes. Chapter 8. Our very unromantic wedding night. You might imagine our wedding night was incredibly glamorous. It wasn't. At 2 a.m., my new husband and I were sitting on the floor eating leftover graduation party pizza. Still wearing wedding clothes. Daniel loosened his tie. Mrs. Hayes. I smiled. Stop saying that. Why? It sounds weird. Mrs. Hayes. I threw a napkin at him. He caught it. Violence already? We've been married 2 hours. I can still return you. No receipt. I laughed. He leaned over and kissed me. Hi, wife. Hi, husband. That sounded even stranger. He kissed me again. Longer this time. My fingers curled into his shirt. When we pulled apart, I whispered, "The pizza's getting cold." Daniel stared at me. You're thinking about pizza right now? I have priorities. He laughed and pulled me into his arms. I rested my head against his chest. This is perfect. We're eating pizza on a floor. Exactly. He kissed my hair. After a moment, I asked, "Who was Rachel?" Daniel groaned. You were jealous. No. You absolutely were. She hugged you for approximately 17 minutes. It was 4 seconds. 17 minutes emotionally. He laughed. Rachel is an event planner. I blinked. She organized all this? Most of it. Oh. Daniel kissed my forehead. You really thought I was cheating? I considered murder. Good to know. I hugged him tighter. Then remembered something. Wait. What? How did you know my ring size? Daniel froze. I slowly sat up. He smiled nervously. That's another story. Chapter 9. The Ring Thief. Daniel. He started laughing. How did you get my ring size? Remember 3 months ago when your favorite ring disappeared? My mouth opened. No. Yes. You took it. Borrowed. I searched everywhere. I know. You helped me search. That was admittedly dishonest. I hit him with a pillow. You criminal. He laughed and grabbed the pillow. I needed the size. You made me think I lost it. I put it back. 3 weeks later. I needed time. I attacked him with another pillow. He caught me around the waist. We both fell backward onto the couch laughing. I'm sorry. No, you're not. Not even slightly. I tried getting up. He wrapped his arms around me. Let me go. Never. Daniel. You married me. Legally stuck. I turned toward him. You planned all of this for months? His smile softened. 5 months. Before graduation? Long before. Why? He looked at me like the answer should have been obvious. Because I knew. Knew what? That I wanted you. My heart melted. Not just while college was easy. College was not easy. You know what I mean. He touched my cheek. I wanted the version where we graduate and don't know what happens next. His thumb brushed gently across my cheek. The stressful jobs. The tiny first apartment. The bills. The bad days. The good ones. All of it. I kissed him. No jokes this time. Just us. When we separated, I whispered, "You really are cheesy. You married me anyway." Unfortunately. He hugged me tighter. Then his phone buzzed. A notification appeared. Flight confirmed, 8:30 a.m. I stared. Daniel. He slowly looked at me. Oh. What flight? Chapter 10. One last graduation surprise. Before you panic. Too late. Daniel handed me his phone. 2 plane tickets. Destination. New York. I stared. What is this? Our graduation trip. Daniel. Surprise. We just got married. Exactly. You planned a honeymoon too? Technically graduation trip/honeymoon. I laughed. How are you paying for all this? Remember the design competition I entered? Yes. I won. My mouth dropped. You told me you didn't hear back. I wanted to surprise you. You've been lying a lot recently. Romantically withholding information. That's called lying. He laughed. I used part of the prize money. The rest is going toward our apartment. I froze. Our what? Daniel's eyes widened. Oops. Daniel. He covered his face. I ruined surprise number 4. There are 4. He showed me a photograph. A tiny apartment. Nothing luxurious. 1 bedroom. Small kitchen. Tiny balcony. But ours. If you want it, he said quickly. You don't have to move in. I haven't signed anything yet. I stared at the photograph. Graduation. Engagement. Wedding. Honeymoon. Apartment. All within 24 hours. This is the craziest day of my life. Good crazy. I looked at my husband. The boy who gave me chocolate when I cried. The friend who became my first real love. The boyfriend who stole my ring to secretly measure it. The ridiculous man who planned a wedding at our graduation party. I smiled. The best kind. He pulled me into his arms. So we're doing this? The apartment? Life. I wrapped my arms around his neck. Yeah. He kissed me. Softly at first. Then I smiled against his lips. What? You know what's funny? What? 4 years ago I thought graduation would be the end of everything. Daniel kissed my forehead. And I looked at the ring on my hand. Turns out it was just chapter 1. And that morning, as 2 newly graduated students boarded a plane with absolutely no idea what adulthood would bring, I realized something. The perfect love story isn't about knowing exactly what happens next. It's about finding someone who makes you excited to discover it together. So, midnight romance stories. And that was my boyfriend married me at our graduation party. 1 graduation. 1 secret plan. 1 unexpected proposal. And 1 midnight neither of them would ever forget. Now we want to hear from you. Would you say yes to a surprise wedding immediately after getting engaged? Or would you need more time? Tell us in the comments. And which moment was your favorite? The proposal? The midnight wedding? The missing ring mystery? The pizza wedding night? Or the final surprise? Rate this love story from 1 to 10. And tell us where you're listening from and what time it is there. Are you listening before bed? While studying? Working? Traveling? Or relaxing after a long day? If you enjoyed this sweet college romance, graduation love story, surprise proposal, young adult romance, romantic comedy, and emotional love story, like this video and share it with someone who loves romance audiobooks. Subscribe to Midnight Romance Stories and turn on the notification bell for more romantic audiobooks, unexpected love stories, college romance, dating stories, secret crushes, relationship drama, funny romantic moments, sweet kisses, emotional twists, and unforgettable endings. Because graduation might end 1 chapter of your life. But sometimes it's exactly where the best love story begins. This is Midnight Romance Stories, where every midnight has a secret, and every secret has a love story.